Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eric Epic, also known as Eric the Arty Guy, and this is another installment in my not so regular anatomy studies, how to draw different certain body types. This time we're going to be learning how to draw the deltoids, the shoulder muscles, the ones that are on your arm and form the nice spherical shape. If anybody's into bodybuilding, you'll definitely know those are like the cannonball sort of muscles that are on top of your arms. So as usual, we're going to start with anatomy. You don't need to know anatomy to be able to draw these. We're going to go into some more practical examples here. I put in two basic two basic sort of breakdowns. We're going to add muscles on top of the ones that we learned so far. So that's basically just the arm muscles. The rest of the body is just there to kind of to reform the rest of the shape. And then here's the back shot. We're going to learn what happens when your arm comes up and sort of like flexing your bicep pose and see how that works from the back. You might have gotten a hint from this from when we were drawing biceps. I think I did a similar pose, I believe. So starting off with that, we're going to start with the front, the back, and the side pose. Side pose is a bit from the top, just so we can sort of see also all three of the muscles together. But let's start from the front. So deltoids are made out of three muscle group. It's a muscle group made of the three, so front, side, and back. So we get to the front, it's going to attach from this collarbone. Same as the chest muscles, which are also attached to the collarbone and onto your upper arm, also known as humerus. So basically, you want to take, if you can, I usually go with about a quarter to a third, so let's say roughly here. All of this is going to be reserved for chest muscles, and this is going to be just shoulder muscles. So then that would come down here, and it's like an elongated football shape. You can put that there. You can actually make that, pull that back a bit more, so more like that, I'd say. And it attaches to the upper arm over there. So let's just go ahead and erase all of this inside stuff. And then we have the first part of our muscle, so just add striations, so we know that's a nice fat muscle. So yeah, that's the one. So the front. We're moving to the side muscle. I'm going to draw the side muscle in first here because you do see it. So we're going to be coming roughly around like that, and then we're going to go to we're going to go to the back and then to the side because you see all three from the side. So then it's going to come up basically where it's pretty much at the end of the collarbone. It's going to come up and just round off, and it's going to attach a little bit lower than the front muscle. Because you can think of them having roughly the same size, since this one goes to here, this one goes from here to here. Pretty much the same size. Make this nice. Around the anatomy on these bones are also not the most accurate, but they're a bit exaggerated just to make sure you can see where everything is. To be fair, I also haven't drawn anatomy in a long time, so especially bones. So there you go. I'm just gonna make the thicker line between these two. And now the back deltoid is gonna be hidden there, but you might be able to see it there a bit. But going to the back, so you can see a bit of the collarbone here. I shaded it a bit darker. As you can see here, I shaded that dark as well. That's the back of the collar. That's the front of the collar of the shoulder blade. Here's the back of the collarbone. This is the shoulder blade itself, and the back of the humerus, the one we just saw here. So we're going to start off by putting our the middle deltoid in there. It's going to come down roughly like that. Now the rear deltoid attaches to this line here on the shoulder blade. So it's not above, at the top or at the bottom, it's really just going at a little groove that comes here. And so this is, we're going to bring it again a little bit higher than this point. So we'll just bring that there. And there you go. So we're going to get rid of all of this middle part over here. We're going to add striations. That's how it looks like from the back. You can actually probably round this off a bit more. give the back deltoid a bit more room to go, because you want pretty much all of the back muscles to have this kind of football shape going on with them, which they all more or less do, maybe with the exception of the side one at the extreme, but it kind of goes like that here back, and the front it also more obviously goes like that. Now moving on to the side, here we're going to see all three, because we see you got the shoulder blade. Sorry, handheld is a bit more complicated than having it on the arm, but I can't find the arm at the moment. So you're gonna have the arm over here, and you have this little groove that we're talking about. So let's just go ahead and do those two. So it attaches here, roughly to here. These are gonna be smaller. Right here, roughly to here. All this other real estate is saved up for the medial deltoid, which is gonna come in the sort of U shape down below both of them onto the arm. Let's go ahead and clean up the insides. And now add our striations. If you're wondering why or what my thinking is between adding like the directions of the striations, I mean, first of all, it's taking count of roundness. Didn't do a great job there now, but also I'm following the line of the muscle. You can generally think of the striations going like from the direction that the muscle is going to go. So you can imagine, for example, this muscle pulls the arm up, which means this part has to come to this part, so the striation is going to go this way, because striations are individual muscle fibers closing in on each other. So then, yeah, so now we have our three. Essentially, you can make them bigger or smaller how you like. These are already two rather large versions of the muscle. This is a slightly smaller one. Obviously, the larger it is, the more sort of cannonball and round it's going to look, all in all, genetics aside. Like a perfect genetics as you would if you're drawing comic characters, they're always going to have like super round aesthetic shoulders. I don't know, the word just completely went out of my mind for a second. Anyways, now we're going to come over to these figure drawings, and we're going to add basically all of the arm muscles. We're going to add, so first we're going to add the shoulder blade, because you do see that quite a lot. And we just make this round shape to inform the chest. Now, this is the shoulder blade, and it goes from the middle of the chest to the end here, as it does over here. So we're going to draw on the front. What I like to do is first we'll draw the cannonball that we have. I kind of make it start and end at a part on the upper arm. This line isn't for nothing. This is literally replacing a bone, so all muscles have to come and go from it. Otherwise, you're just going to jank up your anatomy. So then we're just going to take from where we know muscles begin and end, slightly higher, and we're just going to inform this shape. We know this one goes here, and generally from this angle we're not going to see much of the rear delt. We can clean this up, maybe we can, yeah, I mean we could add a bit of it, but generally you'd have like the traps coming out of here that would then go, like if the head is here, you'd have a neck trap, just like that, more or less. So there's a very small head. Then we know about the bicep. It basically also comes from this joint over here, and it goes, well, it ends roughly about here, and then the tendons go towards your lower arm over here. So what we can do is just start here. I typically just, as a rule of thumb, just bring it to the joint there, and that's, you can round off then, and you have a good bicep. Then we have forearm muscles, which I haven't covered yet, at least not by the time. I don't know how I'm going to post this, but I haven't covered forearm muscles yet, so don't be too worried about them yet if you haven't seen that video, or if I haven't posted it yet. We have our elbow over here. Elbow is a bone, so literally just bone joint. So wherever you put your indicator for your elbow, that's where your elbow is going to be, and everything has to inform to that shape. Then tricep, we also know, comes from the joint, comes out roughly halfway, then over here, then you can round that off a bit nicer. And then maybe add some more detail. Then you can finish off that forearm, maybe put in a hand, a crude one. And there you go. Maybe a bit more details, and you got a pretty good arm. And what we can do at this point, well, it's not a perfect, but it's pretty good. You can add some striations. Striations will generally only come when you flex. Excuse me, you flex rather hard. So your deltoids do have a lot. Can have a lot of striations along with your chest. Your triceps generally only was like a super lean. We're doing superheroes, so all super lean. So it's worth learning. Maybe watch the tricep videos, because there I go into detail how the striations go. And then bicep videos, I didn't make the bicep video too, so striations go like that. And then forearms, they usually just have a lot of muscles that are visible. Just really just sketching the rest of this anatomy. There you go. Anyway, moving on to the next one. So you're gonna look from the back if he's doing like flexing his bicep, being like really cool. So what we're gonna do again is make our sort of circle. Oh, you missed that. Make our circular shape. And what I'm gonna do actually now is I'm just gonna put in a bit of the rear trap, because that helps a lot. So it's gonna come in basically. This is our line for our spine. It's just gonna come in like that, really, and we're just gonna boost it up, give it a rounder shape, because it's more of a trained muscle. We're trained personality now. Now what happens when you twist your arm like this front muscle here kind of travels so that it faces upwards. So that's what's going to happen to that. You can make it really round, because it usually really sticks out. And then basically this is going to be the U shape then for that muscle. And then the muscle over here, it kind of gets pushed back like that. And then, oh, you missed it. I really have to find that arm. So again, so you got that top muscle here, then you got the U shape, then you bring it down here, kind of make that medial deltoid, that middle one right there, same as so. Then you bring just the bottom one here and kind of just extend that line for the shoulder blade. So now you got that, and you can pretty this up to make it a bit more rounder, but it's always worth kind of separating these three muscles because it's a bit more realistic sort of depiction of the muscle. Then same as we did up here, we're going to start with a tricep. Starts from down here, comes up, and we're just going to round it off towards the elbow. Elbow is here. Really nice hanging. It makes it look like it's a big muscle. Now we're not going to put the bicep in just here. We're going to actually do the muscles that are in front of it from this view. That would be the lower arm muscles. These guys over here. So there's one pretty much it goes up from right under. This muscle that comes from right under here. It's going to bring that down. There's a muscle in front of that. That kind of just goes like that. And then the rest of the arm, and then again, since he's flexing, that muscle goes really small as possible. I just realized I kind of really bent his arm a bit, so I'm gonna correct that, bring that slightly higher up, so that it looks like that. So let me just clean that up real quick. So yeah, then you can add some more lower arm. That doesn't matter. You can inform a bit of the shape if you like. But important thing is here, because then now it kind of gives you the shape for the rest of the trap, for example, and that will kind of help you do the rest of the back muscles. But that's for another video. Important now is that practicing how to place these three muscles. To put it in the simplest way, imagine you basically have three of these shapes. I missed all that again. Okay. Basically, so if you do a U, that, and then split it off into three. That's how you draw a muscle in the simplest ways, because it's made out of 3 parts. The bottom part starts a bit lower, but generally they're all the same length. And that's how you draw the deltoid muscle. Thanks for watching.